broke through so many barriers for Trabuco and set the bar a little bit higher than it had been set at our school previously. We had our first ever playoff game, our first ever top 3 league finish, first ever playoff win, first trip to the quarterfinals of CIF, first top 10 ranking, and the list goes on. Some pretty good stuff from where we were just 4 short years ago. And the way to follow it is what we just said, to do it again or to improve on that season. And to my surprise, actually, we had a fantastic season. I was a little bit skeptical at the beginning when season starts. It starts for us back in the summertime. And that's when I kind of get a chance to see who's going to be on the team. Do we have any freshmen coming in? Who's coming back? Is there anybody that quit? So I get to see what we have, and then I also get a chance to see what the other teams have. And over the summer, it was my opinion, my professional opinion, that Dana Hills would be the team to beat. And they turned out to be the team to beat. So I was right on that one. It was also my opinion that Mission would take second place. They would be the team to beat for second. My bad. I missed that one. They had some pretty good talent. They went through some coaching turmoil over there, and they kind of fell off. So I thought it would be Aliso and us going for third place, hopefully maybe get in for second if we played really well. But obviously, as it turned out, Mission kind of went downhill, and we were left to battle it out with Aliso for second place. We gave Dana a couple of good quarters. We never really had a full game against Dana. But when we played in those particular quarters well, I felt like we could play with anybody in our division. Dana was ranked in the top 3 at one point, and we put together some good stuff. But this year was really different than last year, because last year we graduated 12 seniors. This year we have 5. We had 2 freshmen on the varsity team, 2 freshman starters. We had a couple of sophomores on the group, and then 4 senior girls on the team this year. So the biggest challenge for me was going to be, how do we take all these new faces and make everybody play together? And in the short period of time that we really had to do that. As soon as school starts, we're up and running in preseason. We had a few girls go off the club. Those girls came back when the season started, and there we go. So right away, we have to gel in a very short period of time. That's what I'm trying to get at. And the first weekend tournament that we had was very useful for me as a coach, because we got to play against Aliso and Miguel in that first tournament. And we actually ended up beating Aliso, I think it was 7-4, 8-5. And that showed me that we were kind of on schedule, maybe a little bit ahead of schedule, where I thought we might be going into the most important part of our season, which is the league play. So in all those games, I set up some kind of tester games throughout the season. Games where I wanted to kind of gauge our progress: Saddleback, Westminster, Costa Mesa, Woodbridge, etc. And in all those games that were non-league games, we kind of handled our business, except for one, and that was the J. Sarah game. And I don't know if, well, I see the faces. So the J. Sarah game was interesting for more than one reason. There was a picture up here, girls. Do you remember the slide? The picture of you guys sitting by the tennis courts at J. Sarah? Again, my bad. I had the biggest blow-up of the season for sure. I lost my temper with the kids, and some things came out of my mouth that don't typically come out in the setting of young teenagers around. But J. Sarah really kind of kicked us in the face and said, hey, you guys aren't as good as you think you are. And I think it really kind of jump-started the girls to start working a little bit harder and say, yeah, we got some work left to do. So it wasn't a good game, but it was a good learning experience overall as the season started. So after that game, we had to get back to work, and that's what we did. And the most important game of the year was the first Aliso game in league. And I thought we came out pretty inspired and ready to play in that game. And we walked away from the Aliso game with our first league victory of the year, kind of heading down the path where I thought we should be going towards a possible CIF playoff run. At that point, we're sitting good, sitting pretty for second place in league. We lost to Dana Hills. We beat San Juan Hills, and then the Mission game came up. And the Mission game, the first time around, was probably my favorite time of the whole season, because we just killed them. I mean, we destroyed them. And it's obviously good to get a win, but there's some history that some of you know. I went to Mission. I used to coach over at Mission. I know, boo. But they wronged me, and it's always nice to get back and say, so the final score in that game, I think, was 19-10. And I mean, it was comical for me sitting on the bench and watching us down the other side of the pool. Like, everything we threw just kept going in the goal. And I was like, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Kelsey's throwing backhands in, Mackenzie's throwing this, closing her eyes, doing this behind the back. So we leave that game, and I thought, awesome, second place, we're in line for it. Best game of the year. But obviously, I was looking ahead to what's coming with the second round coming through, and then we hit Aliso Niguel. Mountains and valleys, mountains and valleys. And what happened in the Aliso Niguel game was teenage girls happened in the Aliso Niguel game. They have a tendency to rise up, come down, emotional high. And girls, I know what it's like to be emotional. Emotional highs and lows. I know. So I think emotions got the best of a few of our players that day and kind of leaked through the team. And we didn't exactly have the best game, and we ended up losing that game on a last-second shot. Very questionable clock maintenance. And the end result of that was we tied for second with Aliso. We had to do a coin flip, which we then lost the coin flip, which then gave us a very difficult draw. And it brings me to my next point about how I hate Harvard Westlake. So before I get ahead of myself, our first playoff game, great. Mackenzie, 9 goals, I think. Awesome. Good leadership in that game. Again, Kelsey backhands, Kylie backhands. Everybody's throwing stuff in. Montana locking them down, blocking 5 meters. Great game for us in the first CIF playoff game, which, by the way, was our second playoff victory in the history of the school. So congratulations for you. Back to Harvard Westlake. Harvard Westlake, like Mission, I hate them. Because I was wronged by Harvard Westlake as well. Last year, Harvard Westlake took us out of the playoffs. This year, Harvard Westlake took us out of the playoffs. And way back when, at the beginning of my career, when I was playing at Mission, Harvard Westlake took my team out of the playoffs. I know. So I hate them because they're cheaters. They're a private school and they're cheaters. Breathe. God, is it getting hot in here? So the end of our season was an interesting one. I don't think anybody expected us to go in and beat Harvard Westlake. Harvard ended up winning CIF, in case you didn't hear. They won Division IV CIF again this year. Cheaters. And we went to the game, and I actually thought it was a pretty fun day. We got to stay out of school. We had a little walkthrough at school. We had a little team nap when we got to the park. We got to sit in traffic for 2 hours. I mean, it was great. So we had the game. We went and had a nice dinner afterwards. And because of the quality of the opponent that we lost to, I didn't feel like anybody was really feeling that bad about it. I was upset. And I think the girls wished that we had beat that cheater team and moved on, but it didn't happen, and it was a pretty good end of the season. I was really impressed with the way that you guys followed up the success that we had last year. Last year, I thought we had a really strong team. We broke through some stuff that is difficult to break through on. And then this year, again, at the beginning of the season, I thought, I don't know. I just don't know if we have. We've got too many young kids, not enough seniors. And you guys really surprised me. You guys that came in and started this year, the 2 freshmen, Anna and Sarah, really did a good job of helping out. And then Shannon and Julie, sophomores, coming off the bench for us. It was just the mix of young and old, and I mean old. You guys are old. So seniors, Kylie, Zoe, Mackenzie, Montana, and Katie Reeder. The senior leadership this year was outstanding, and it was an awesome time for me to coach. It was a great end of my coaching career for the girls team. I feel like we ended on a high note, and Harvard Westlake cheats. So, throughout the season, you know, there's ups and downs, obviously, as we've talked about. There's emotional highs and lows. There's expectations, and then, of course, with the girls, there's always drama. And this year started off with a bit of drama that I seemed to create, because we did the tryouts, some girls were cut from the team, we didn't have any coaches, then we hired Coach Eggie, then we hired Coach Amanda, then we hired Coach Marina. Obviously, they're not here. They went somewhere else, probably to Harvard Westlake. And then we didn't have coaches, so then we had an abundance of girls and less coaches than were ideal. So the drama at the beginning, it was created kind of by me. And the girls, they kind of never really wavered. You know, it was kind of stressful for me, and I don't know if it was stressful for Eggie, but for me, you know, just the change in who's coming, who's going, who's coaching, who's not. But the girls just kept going. Girls, get in and swim 10-100s. Yeah, coach, got it. Put your fins on, get a medicine ball, whatever, and they just went for it. So I want to say that you guys are awesome. The hard work that you guys put in on a daily basis, I don't think your parents, most of them even understand what you guys go through. Getting up in the morning, I mean, they get up and drive you and stuff, but 37 degrees on the pool deck, that's pretty cold. Exactly. Jumping in the water isn't as bad. Getting out when it's that cold, pretty cold. You know, early morning weights, some running, lots of swimming. The weather's terrible for the girls' season. The guys are out there in their Speedos getting tan, and the girls are getting thunder and lightning on and storm. So I just want the parents to recognize for a second, I don't want to say a bad word here, but how much they kick butt. The girls really kick butt, and girl water polo players are the toughest. Sasha, and as a former player and a longtime coach, I know what it takes to play this sport, and you guys are amazing. So my hat's off to you guys. And I'd like to bring all the varsity players up and give them their certificates. So, you guys can come up one at a time as I call your name, please. Mackenzie Baber. Abby Bachelor. Anna Bachelor. Just real quick, the video where they're all walking out, you know, at the beginning, they look all intimidating and stuff. I don't know what was more intimidating, watching them walk out like that. Choice one, the picture of Shannon with that look, or Darth Vader's mask. All right, Kelsey Bennett. Julie the Article. Kylie Hanela. Montana Kleppy. Sarah Kreiser. Zoe Lipinski. And last but not least, Shannon Murray. Okay, so I don't know how many of you all were there, but when I was telling Coach Agee, I always forget something at the banquet. And one of the years I forgot to bring the girls up all together. So I made it. I did it tonight. I brought you guys all up. While they're up there, before you guys go and sit down, we'll do the award in just a second, but I want to go to the next thing. When we're talking about how the girls kick butt and how tough they are, I was amazed at the next section here that I'm going to go into, and that's the scholar athletes. We have 10 girls on the varsity squad, and 7 of them are scholar athletes, which means they achieve a certain GPA while they're varsity athletes. So listen to these GPAs, and you guys will get a little certificate patch for this. Sarah, 3.93. Zoe, 3.93. Anna, 3.6. Montana, 3.85. Abby, 4.38. Shannon, 4.44. And Mackenzie, 4.46. So you guys know how much time they spend at the pool and how much school activities they're involved in and all that stuff. How many hours, ridiculous hours they spend in the pool with me. I'm really impressed by that. It's an awesome thing to say about our team that we have 7 out of 10 girls up here that are scholar athletes. So ladies, keep up the good work, and you guys on JV, next year, I want to see all of you up here on the scholar athlete slide too. So varsity for 2012, good job. All right, so I'll start with the varsity most improved player. I always get a sore throat when I'm talking about Harvard Westlake. I know, get over it, right? I know. All right, so summer water polo is especially important for me, in addition to what I said before, but I get to see which of the new girls are going to be stepping up to play on the varsity level. Some of the younger girls coming up, maybe it's a junior that's becoming a senior, how are they going to fit in? And last summer I remember seeing this particular girl and I thought, you know what, I really love her work ethic. I thought it takes something special for a girl to go out and lose like 30 pounds on her own and just be fired up about it and ready to go. She was so impressive to me with her work ethic that I automatically thought, even though she was a freshman, I thought, you know what, she deserves a shot at the A group, playing with the varsity and the JV group, just based on the fact of how hard she works. I don't know if she really knew the game well enough to play with that group at that time, but the work ethic, that would cover that. So what I did is I paired her up with our team captain, and I told Mackenzie to work with her every day. And Mackenzie in summertime did a great job of kind of mentoring her and showing her some of the tricks that Mackenzie learned over her career. So she goes through the summer session, we do preseason practice, and before you know it, we're sitting there with the varsity games, and she's the first person off the bench in the varsity games. Really started to come into her own, and I think at this rate, with the improving that she's doing on a yearly, daily, weekly basis, I think Coach Agee will be lucky to have her next year, and I can't wait to see what she does. Shannon Martin. All right, most valuable player for the defense. When this girl showed up, it was a little bit different for me because she's crazy. And I thought, you know what, this is cool. She's pretty talented, she's pretty athletic, she has a good sporting background, but I can't handle her for 4 years. Like, seriously drove me to retirement. Just kidding, Sarah. I've seen a little crazy over the years, and this was a little bit more than a bit crazy. But the craziness aside, I was instantly impressed with her competitive spirit. It didn't seem like there were many situations that she didn't embrace, and when I pushed her, she kind of responded and pushed back and gave me a little bit more, you know. If she was sick or she was injured, I didn't really hear about it unless I noticed. Then I would ask her, and she'd be like, yeah, I'm throwing up. And she would just keep going. I love her fearlessness. About halfway through the season, she kind of made the decision, I think, in her head that she was going to start guarding the opposing team's strongest player, and she really became an excellent hole guard. As a guy, it just doesn't turn smiles the way, for me, excuse me, let me go back. As a guy, I hate losing. And when a girl doesn't get all smiley after a game and we lose, that means something to me, because a lot of girls, not so much on our team because I think I've conditioned most of them out of it, but a lot of girls after a loss are like, oh, we lost, let's get on the bus and sing. That's not at all. And I never really saw that with Sarah. And when we lost a game, she was pissed. I mean, she was in the corner moping, kind of like, you know, one time she had tears in her eyes, and I'm like, Sarah, what's going on? She's like, I don't think I played very good and we lost. So for me, that was really refreshing to see somebody that competitive, because, again, as a guy, that's how I am. If I lose, I hate Harvard Wesley. So I think she's the ideal type of person to be on my team, because she knows when it's okay to joke around. She knows when it's time to get serious and get back to work. It seems like the only thing she really hasn't figured out yet is when it's okay and not okay to lick somebody. And really, that just comes down to parenting. Sorry, I just happened. So we're sitting in a pregame meeting, like a serious game, you know, and we have this pregame meeting, and everybody's kind of talking about what we're going to do, because we have this new focus, pregame focus. We're going to talk about the game, we're going to talk about the game plan, and all that rest of that girly stuff, we're going to leave it out, Coach McMahon style. So I'm sitting there, and I look over, like out of the corner of my eye, and her tongue is on my elbow. So inappropriate. And it was at that time that I think our mom was like, Sarah, you're not allowed to lick people. So congratulations on learning the appropriateness or not of licking your coach at a team meeting. But you know what, that's just her. Sarah Cracker, come on. So, we're going to move on to the most valuable player for offense. Has anybody ever seen the movie Groundhog's Day? All right, so I'm writing this speech and going to talk about the girls, and I get to the most valuable offensive player, and it just struck me so odd. I'm here again, it's my 4th year in a row, and I'm writing a speech similar to the speeches of the past. I've been up here presenting awards for 4 years, and you know, the girls are pretty amazing. Each time I get up here, it seems like I've been here before doing the same exact thing. I mean, it seems literally like I was just here doing this very thing last year with the girls. And we've seen the most improved, we've seen the defense, and it's time for the offensive MVP, and it's where it gets eerily familiar to me. The offensive MVP, in my opinion, is a player that opposing coaches hate playing against. They should be familiar with her and what she likes to do, and as a coach, you should have to game plan against that person. A player that, when all is said and done, puts the team on her back in a crucial situation and carries the team to success. She should be someone who knows how, when, and where to get her teammates involved. And over the past 4 years, this young lady has helped transform our water polo team at Trabuco Hills from kind of a recreational type of squad to somebody who can be reckoned with in Division IV girls water polo. In the time that Mackenzie's been here, we've gone from an unranked team to a twice now in a row top 10 ranked team. We've recorded 2 second-place CVU League finishes, 2 consecutive 18-win seasons, 2 CIF playoff victories. The teams that we play against and the players that we play against, they know Mackenzie and they know that in order to beat our team, you have to shut her down. The coolest thing about Mackenzie, besides the Darth Vader mask, was how she maintained her coachability throughout her entire career here at Trabuco. There's many times, and especially last year, where I had to kind of rein her in and pull her back and use her more as a facilitator to get the other girls involved, because I knew later in the season we were going to need everybody. And she always just said, okay, coach, whatever you want to run, whatever I'm supposed to do, just let me know, and she did it. She bought into the system, and finally this year I kind of took the leash off, and we set some stuff up specifically for her, and I think it really showcased her offensive talent, as well as her defensive talent, but offensively she was awesome. So we did a couple of things especially for her, and I'm happy to announce that this year's MVP is Mackenzie Baker. All right, and I asked Mackenzie to stay up here, and I'd like to bring up Sarah, Kelsey, Kylie, Abby, Montana, please. So, I wanted to congratulate each of you girls, because at the end of a successful season, we get to go and vote and make our argument for who we think should be on the all-league team. And the all-league team is the coaches getting together and saying, hey, we think this person is the best player in the league, we think this person should be on the first team, there's 9 people on that, and then we think these group of people should be on the second team, and so forth. And we are fortunate to have 6 people on the all-league team. We have Mackenzie on first team, Sarah Kreiser, first team, Kylie, second team, Kelsey, second team, Montana and Abby, third team, honorable mention. So congratulations, girls. And you guys will have some additional certificates, but they weren't ready yet at this time. So if you guys could sit down again, please, except for Bader. So it's pretty impressive to have 6 girls up for the all-league selections, and the reason I asked Mackenzie to stay here, there's a couple of reasons. First, I wanted to let everybody know that Mackenzie was voted the league's most valuable player. So the reason that that's especially significant, let me get to the rest of it. She's actually the co-MVP. There's 2 gals that were voted the co-MVPs. It's Emily Carlson from Dana Hills and Mackenzie Baber from Trabuco. The reason that that's especially significant and meaningful for me is it's an absolute rarity for somebody to get MVP of a league that didn't win the league title. It's very rare. And that's just a testament to you, Mackenzie, about how the other coaches feared you and needed to double team you constantly and yelled out at the top of their lungs, she scores every time she shoots it, you might want to guard her. So it's really awesome that she got co-MVP, because it doesn't happen a lot when the team doesn't win, so you should be especially proud of that. And Secondly, the other reason that you're up here is for the first time since I've been coaching here at Trabuco, as Coach Iggy said, we let the girls do all the voting for the awards, so it's especially meaningful to them to have their peers vote. They vote for the MVPs and everything except for the coaches award that Coach Iggy gave out. The Mustang Award is an award given to the girl that most represents the type of player that we would like to have as a representative for our team. So it doesn't need to be the best player on the team, but it's somebody who, if I sent somebody up to the office to speak with the principal, if Obama was in town and I wanted to send somebody over to talk to him, she would be the one to go. It's the person who rallies everybody. It's the person to get everybody together, get in, get the pool covers off, get them fired up for stretching and warm-up, focus them for a game. Effort should never be a concern, and I want to know that that person's doing their best at all times, and I think the girls pick up on that. So she was our team captain. She's obviously a great young lady, smart, good grades, and she's developing into a fine young lady. She plans on continuing playing water polo in college, and we actually hope to have her coaching with us this summer with the younger girls. So Mackenzie, you are this year's Mustang Award winner. And that's about enough for you, Mackenzie. Okay. Congratulations, Mackenzie. Thanks, you guys. So the seniors, the 5 seniors, you guys have some gifts up here. Please do not leave without your senior gifts. We've also got the team photos that we took down at the beach up here for everybody. So before we wrap up tonight, I want to make sure that all the girls come get all their team photos up here. And we have 4 more raffles to do, including 1 more fish. Coach Iggy, she's got a few announcements to make, and then we can do pictures and stuff afterwards. But this is it for me, so here we go, ladies. Some of you guys won't remember any of this because it was before you if you're younger. Some of the older girls will remember some of it. Parents, I hope you have no idea what I'm talking about. So let's talk about the good times past and present. The softest punch ever. 1 minute cleanup. Trabuco's first ever playoff win. Getting thrown in the water. Ronan and Aiden passing out game caps. Babysitters. Watch how that babysitters. Christmas at Coach's house. The time when Amanda stole a present from my son Ronan. A different Amanda, not this one. Remember the really nice, sweet Amanda? She stole a present from my son. Chicken wing defense. Katie's face. A different Katie. Halfbacks, 50-50, heads up swimming. Progressions, Ironman, pairs, pull push-ups, medicine balls, 5-gallon water jugs. Broken fingers, broken noses, torn up shoulders, snorkels. 10 100s with fins, pool covers and 37-degree mornings, temper tantrums, cliff jumping at Waimea Bay, shave ice at Matsumoto's, base, 3-2-1, 4-2, Mustang, ice, fire, just 10-second play. Please, speaking. The super secret play. The super secret to opening the office file cabinet. Fatty, Stalker, Montucky, Crowd, Baker, Rookie, Nemo, Tripod, Lefty, Larry. The most important game of the year. One more. Last time. And the world famous African giraffe. That's it, ladies. I'll miss you guys. I already spent all my tears today.
McMahon for his years of service to the girls' water polo program. This program has greatly benefited from your efforts and your hard work. On behalf of all the players and parents, we thank you. You guys getting that water polo itch again? No. You want to go play? Come on, I know you want to. Well, just so you guys all know, summer water polo starts on June 25th. I'll send out more information as it gets near. Also, remember that as you make your class schedules for next year, don't schedule a period 1, okay? That prevents us from going to 5 a.m. practices, okay? By not taking a first period, that allows us to go at 6 o'clock for morning practice, FYI, okay? And that concludes our water polo banquet. Thank you, parents.
Coach Aggie, and she's got a few announcements to make, and then we can do pictures and stuff afterwards. But this is it for me, so here we go, ladies. Some of you guys won't remember any of this because it was before you if you're younger. Some of the older girls will remember some of it. Parents, I hope you have no idea what I'm talking about. So let's talk about the good times, past and present. The softest punch ever. 1 minute cleanup, Trabuco's first ever playoff win. Getting thrown in the water. Ronan and Aiden passing out game caps. Babysitters. Babysitters. Christmas at Coach's house. The time when Amanda stole a present from my son Ronan. A different Amanda, not this one. Remember the really nice, sweet Amanda? She stole a present from my son. Chicken wing defense. Katie's face. A different Katie. Halfbacks, 50-50, heads up swimming, progressions, Ironman, pairs, pull push-ups, medicine balls, 5-gallon water jugs. Broken fingers, broken noses, torn up shoulders, snorkels. 10 100s with fins. Pool covers and 37-degree mornings. Temper tantrums. Cliff jumping at Waimea Bay. Shave ice at Matsumoto's. Base, 3-2-1, 4-2, Mustang, ice, fire, just 10-second play. Please, speaking. The super secret play. The super secret to opening the office file cabinet. Fatty, Stalker, Montucky, Crowd, Baker, Rookie, Nemo, Tripod, Lefty, Larry. The most important game of the year. One more. Last time. And the world famous African giraffe. That's it, ladies. I'm missing, guys.
Well, I'd like to thank Coach McMahon for his years of service to the girls' water polo program. This program has greatly benefited from your efforts and your hard work. On behalf of all the players and parents, we thank you. You guys getting that water polo itch again? No. You want to go play? Come on, I know you want to. Well, just so you guys all know, summer water polo starts on June 25th. I'll send out more information as it gets near. Also, remember that as you make your class schedules for next year, don't schedule a period 1, okay? That prevents us from going to 5 a.m. practices, okay? By not taking a first period, that allows us to go at 6 o'clock for morning practice at Polo. Okay? And that concludes our water polo banquet. Thank you.